back to Jason Tuitions. In today's class, we will continue with our chemical reactions and equations. In the last video, we discussed about the types of chemical reactions. In that, we completed what is combination reaction, what is decomposition reaction, why decomposition reactions are called the opposite of combination reactions, and then the types of decomposition. In that we have studied about thermal decomposition reaction, and today we will continue the next two types of decomposition. The next decomposition is, so I told you yesterday, decomposition reaction is of three types: thermal decomposition, photochemical decomposition, and electrolytic decomposition. In the thermal decomposition we completed yesterday. So today we will continue the next decomposition, which is called as the photochemical decomposition. Photochemical decomposition. So photo means light. So the decomposition reaction, if it takes place with the help of light, it is called photochemical decomposition. So what is photochemical decomposition? The decomposition reaction takes place in the presence of light. Takes place in the presence of light. So in this we have to study two important examples. The first one is decomposition of silver chloride. Decomposition of silver chloride. So silver chloride, the formula is AgCl. Ag means silver, Cl means chloride. So 2AgCl I am taking. When I expose this to sunlight, the silver chloride will decompose into silver and chlorine. So how many silver is there? 2. So 2Ag plus how many chlorine is there? 2. So Cl2. Okay. So silver chloride, when it is exposed to sunlight, it will decompose into silver and chlorine. So what is the observation you will see? See, the silver chloride is a white color salt. When you expose it to sunlight, it is becoming silver. You know the color of silver, yes or no? It will be like grey color or blackish white color. So the white color salt will become grey in color. So the color change just from white to grey. So that is the observation. So when silver chloride is exposed to sunlight, it will undergo decomposition. So always we should store the silver chloride in dark colored bottle. So silver chloride is always stored in dark bottles, okay, where sunlight will not enter. Okay, so one more example I will teach, the similar to this, decomposition of silver bromide. Decomposition of silver bromide. Silver chloride is AgCl, so silver bromide is AgBr. So when you expose the silver bromide to sunlight, you will get again silver and bromine. Okay, so here the color change is white to grey. Here the color change is silver bromide is yellow in color, and silver it will be grey color or blackish white color. Okay, so the color change is from yellow to grey. Okay, so this is also stored in dark bottles because it will undergo decomposition in the presence of light. So what is the application of this silver bromide? This is a very important 1 mark question. Okay, or in some questions they will give this as a clue to find out the sort. Okay, so the application is, it is used in black and white photography. It is used in black and white photography. So the silver bromide salt, it is used in black and white photography. So this is about the photochemical decomposition. The third type of decomposition is electrolytic decomposition. Electrolytic means electricity. So if the decomposition takes place in the presence of electricity, then it is called as electrolytic decomposition. So what is electrolytic decomposition? So the decomposition takes place in the presence of electricity or with the help of electricity. It is called as electrolytic decomposition. Example, electrolytic decomposition of water. So when you pass current in water, you will get, so here I am taking two water molecules. So how many hydrogens are there? Two twos are four hydrogens are there. So two hydrogens, and how many oxygens are there? Two ones are two oxygens plus O2. So when you pass current in water, it will get divided, it will get decomposed into hydrogen and oxygen. So when you pass current in water, it will get decomposed into hydrogen and oxygen. So we can do this with the help of an activity. Okay. So for this activity, what I have to do is I am taking two electrodes made up of graphite. Okay, so these electrodes I am going to connect it to a power source. Okay, and here I am going to take a container containing water. So I am going to place an inverted test tube, okay, over one electrode, and over another electrode also I am going to place a inverted test tube. Okay, so here it will be full of water. So what I am going to do, this will be anode and this will be cathode. Okay, so I am going to pass current in this water with the help of two electrodes. Okay, so here water will be there. Understood? Okay, fine. Now I am taking water and I am going to pass current in water with the help of the electrodes. Okay, I am going to pass current in the water with the help of electrodes. So what will happen? The water will get decomposed into hydrogen and oxygen. So hydrogen will be collected in one electrode and oxygen will be collected in another electrode. So hydrogen will be collected in the negative electrode. Hydrogen will be collected in the negative electrode inside this test tube, and oxygen will be collected in the positive electrode inside this test tube. So this is how we can prove that when water is decomposed, it gives two gases, hydrogen gas and oxygen gas. Okay, so this activity, it is given in the book. Okay, so with the help of this activity, we can illustrate that water on decomposition with the help of current, it gives hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, so hydrogen will be collected in the negative electrode and oxygen will be collected in the positive electrode inside the test tube. Okay, now how can you find out that this gas is hydrogen and this gas is oxygen? So both the gases do not have any smell and both the gases do not have any color. How can you find out that this gas is hydrogen and this gas is oxygen? So how will you test for hydrogen and how will you find out the gas is oxygen? Okay, so what you have to do is you have to remove this test tube slowly and close the test tube with the help of your thumb. Okay, and if you bring it near a burning matchstick or burning splinter, this hydrogen gas, it will burn with a pop sound. It burns with a pop sound. The hydrogen gas burns with a pop sound. And oxygen gas also burns well. Oxygen is a supporter of combustion. You know that very well. It burns, but it does not have any pop sound. Okay, so it burns without a pop sound. Okay, so hydrogen gas burns with a pop sound and oxygen gas burns without a pop sound. So with the help of that, we can find out in which test tube hydrogen is present and in which test tube oxygen is present. Okay, so now you can see that the amount of hydrogen collected will be more than the amount of oxygen collected. Okay, so the amount of hydrogen collected in the test tube will be double the amount of oxygen collected in the test tube. Why? Because in water, if you take, what is the formula for water? H2O. In water molecules, there are 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen. So whenever 1 oxygen is getting collected, for that 1 oxygen, how many hydrogen will be getting collected? 2 hydrogens will be collected. Okay, so always hydrogen is collected double the amount of oxygen. Okay, so the amount of hydrogen collected will be double the amount of oxygen because water contains 2 parts of hydrogen and 1 part of oxygen, because water contains 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen in the ratio 2:1. The ratio 2:1. That is why hydrogen is always collected double the amount than oxygen. This is a very important question. They will ask you which gas is collected double the amount the other gas. So you must write hydrogen is collected double the amount than oxygen. If they ask why, you should write because in water there are 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen in the ratio 2:1. Understood? So I hope you understood what is photochemical decomposition and what is electrolytic decomposition, and in yesterday's class I taught you what is thermal decomposition. So far we have completed combination reaction and decomposition reaction. Now we will study the next reaction called displacement reaction. The third type of reaction is displacement reaction. So before going to the displacement reaction, you must know something called as the reactivity series. So what is meant by this reactivity series? Reactivity series means it is the arrangement of metals. It is the arrangement of metals in the decreasing order of reactivity. In the decreasing order of reactivity. That is, the metals will be arranged from more reactive metal to less reactive metal. This reactivity series you must by heart, okay, and you must know. Only if you know the reactivity series, the displacement reaction will be very easy to understand. So I will write the reactivity series here. So potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, lead, hydrogen, copper, mercury, silver, gold. So this is the reactivity series. About this reactivity series you will study in detail in your third lesson. But for now you just by heart this reactivity series alone. So decreasing order means the metals which are on the top, they will be more reactive, and the metals which are in the bottom, they will be less reactive. So this is called as the reactivity series. So now we will come to the displacement reaction. Suppose there is one metal A and there is one salt BC. Okay, now what displacement means? It is like replacing. So this A will come to the B's position and it will send the B outside. So what I will get, if A comes here, I will get AC plus B. Okay, so one metal will be displacing another metal from its salt solution. That is called as displacement reaction. So what is displacement reaction? The reaction in which a metal displaces. Okay, so this metal which is displacing, it should be more reactive than the other metal. Here A should be more reactive than B. Only then this A can displace this B. If B is more reactive, then that A cannot displace B. Okay, so the reaction in which a highly reactive metal displaces the less reactive metal. Highly reactive metal displaces the less reactive metal from its salt solution. Is called as displacement reaction. So for example, I am taking iron plus copper sulfate. Okay, iron plus copper sulfate. So here iron is a metal, copper is a metal. So in the reactivity series, you see where iron is present. Where iron is present? Here. Iron is present here. And where copper is present here. So which is more reactive? Iron is more reactive, copper is less reactive, because in reactivity series iron is only coming first. So iron is only more reactive. So iron is highly reactive and copper is less reactive. So since iron is highly reactive, it will be able to displace this copper. So what I will get? I will get FeSO4 plus the Cu will go outside. So a highly reactive metal displaces the less reactive metal from the salt solution. It is called as displacement reaction. Okay, so here what will be your observation when you see? Okay, so this copper sulfate solution, it is blue in color. The copper sulfate solution is blue in color. When it reacts with iron, what is happening? The iron is coming to copper's place and I am getting iron sulfate. So ferrous sulfate, it is pale green in color. So the color change will be from blue to pale green. The color will change from blue to pale green. That is your first observation. Next observation is this copper metal is formed. Copper metal, what is the color of copper metal? Brown color, reddish brown color. So you can see reddish brown copper metal in the form of powder. In the form of powder. Okay, it will be formed. Okay, so these are the two observations in this reaction. Understood? So these observations they may ask in 1 mark question. Okay, so now next example, Zn plus FeSO4. So where is Zn? Where is Fe? Zn is here and Fe is here. Which is more reactive? Zinc is more reactive. So zinc is more reactive means it will be able to displace iron. So what I will be getting? Zinc sulfate plus iron Fe. I will be getting. Okay. So ferrous sulfate, what is the color? Pale green in color. Zinc sulfate, it is colorless. So the color will change from pale green to colorless. Okay. So that is the observation here. Now one more reaction I will write. Cu plus ZnSO4. So now copper and zinc is present. So where zinc is present? Zinc is present on top. So zinc is more reactive. Copper is present in the bottom. Okay, so copper is less reactive. So which is more reactive here? Zinc is more reactive. Copper is less reactive. So can a less reactive metal displace highly reactive metal? No. Only a highly reactive metal can displace less reactive metal. So copper is less reactive, so it cannot go to the position of zinc. So here there will be no reaction at all, no reaction. Okay, so now I will give you one homework you try to do. What will happen if a copper plate is dipped in silver nitrate solution? What will happen if a copper plate is dipped in silver nitrate solution? So copper plate means it is copper, silver nitrate means it is AgNO3. Okay, so what will happen? You try to complete this reaction. This is homework. So this answer I will discuss in the next video for this. Okay, so with this we are completing displacement reaction. Now the fourth type of reaction is double displacement reaction. Double displacement reaction. So for example, if there is a compound AB, it is reacting with a compound CD. So AB is reacting with CD. Now this A will come to the place of C and the C will come to the place of A. So this side one displacement will take place. This side another displacement will take place. So two displacements are taking place in the reaction. So it is called as double displacement reaction. So what product I will get? If C comes here, I will get CB, plus if A goes there, I will get AD. Okay, so the two compounds will exchange their ions. So it is called as a double displacement reaction. So the double displacement reaction means the reaction in which exchange of ions takes place. Exchange of ions takes place is called as a double displacement reaction. Two displacements will occur. This side one displacement and this side another displacement will occur. Now we will do some examples for this. One is the reaction between lead nitrate and potassium iodide. Lead nitrate and potassium iodide. Okay, so listen carefully. What will happen? lead will go to potassium's place and potassium will come to lead's place. So this side one displacement and this side another displacement. So lead will come to potassium's place and potassium will come to the place of lead. So what I will get? If lead goes here, I will get lead iodide plus potassium. If it comes here, I will get potassium nitrate. Potassium nitrate. Understood? So this is an example for double displacement reaction. So I will write the equation now. Lead nitrate, the formula is PbNO3 twice. Okay, PbNO3 twice. Potassium iodide is Ki. Okay, so lead iodide, the formula is PbI2. Potassium nitrate is KNO3. So for balancing purpose, I am writing 2. Okay. So again I told you, if you don't know how to find out the formula in 9th standard, there is a tabular column in page number 37. You have to by heart, and in 9th standard you have already studied the crisscross method, that you must know how to find out the formula. Okay. So here they will ask, this lead iodide is a downward arrow. Downward arrow means what? I told you in the first class. Downward arrow means it is a precipitate. So this lead iodide is a precipitate and it will be yellow in color. So lead iodide is a yellow precipitate. Okay. So this is one example for double displacement reaction. Second example, the reaction between barium chloride and sodium sulfate. Barium chloride and sodium sulfate. So double displacement. What will happen? Barium will come to sodium's place and sodium will come to barium's place. So what I will get, if barium comes here, I will get barium sulfate. Barium sulfate plus, if sodium comes here, I will get sodium chloride. Okay. So barium chloride, what is the formula? BaCl2 plus sodium sulfate, it is Na2SO4, gives barium sulfate. Barium and sulfate, BaSO4, I will be getting, plus sodium chloride. 2 sodium is there and 2 chlorine is there. So you will get 2 NaCl. Okay. So this is another example for double displacement reaction. This barium chloride is a precipitate here. Okay. So one more example also I can write. Okay. So the reaction between silver nitrate and potassium, or I can write sodium chloride. Silver nitrate and sodium chloride. Okay. So what will happen? Sodium will come to silver's place and silver will come to sodium's place. So if sodium comes to silver's place and silver comes to sodium's place, what will happen? If silver comes here, what will happen? I will get silver chloride plus, if sodium comes here, I will get sodium nitrate. So what is the formula for silver nitrate? Already I have written here, silver nitrate, it is KgNO3 plus sodium chloride, you know the formula, NaCl. So silver will come to sodium's place. So if silver comes here, I will get silver chloride, AgCl, plus if sodium comes here, I will get sodium nitrate, NaNO3. So this AgCl is the precipitate here. Okay. So these are some of the examples for double displacement reactions. Okay. So any one example which is easy for you, you can remember. This is a very important. example, this yellow precipitate. Okay, so I hope you understood all these things. So in the previous class we have completed what is combination reaction and decomposition. In decomposition we studied three types of decomposition: thermal, photochemical and electrolytic. And I told you about displacement reaction. In that I told you about reactivity series. You have to by heart that. And then at last I told you about double displacement reaction. Okay, so the remaining things we will continue in the next class. In this video I am stopping with this. Okay, so if you want online tuitions, you can contact me in this mail or in this WhatsApp, or if you are staying in Chennai, you can come to the tuition directly also. Okay, so if you can understand this, okay, you can share this video with your friends also, and don't forget to subscribe this channel. Okay, thank you so much.